awareness is. Like you
like building momentum, like a snowball.
Yeah.
Just picture lots of rolling things. but anyway, we digress. So. This podcast is not an alternative for mental health assistance and or counseling with a licensed professional. For any specific medical questions about your condition and or concerns, please contact your healthcare provider. Welcome back. This is Lipstick and Coffee, and we are the Somasisters. I'm Tamara.
I'm Nina.
And we're carrying on with our talk about our 4 pillars, which are actually 4 core beliefs. And the message we want to send to everyone is, you are okay. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Oh, I was coming.
Your pain has purpose. You might cringe hearing it. As traumatized.
Yeah, it's just hard to hear that one. It's like, excuse me? I get defensive. My pain has purpose. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
But it does, though. It actually does.
Have purpose.
It does, yeah.
And you keep tuning in, and you'll find out more.
We're going to make sure you get what we're saying.
Yeah. And if you
In
don't...
In time, right? Yeah.
If you don't, we're also totally open to and excited to receive comments, feedback, emails, all of that. So just to recap, we've already talked about in previous episodes this core belief that, there's something wrong with me. You know, I'm not okay. And then last time we talked about the core belief of I'm alone. Oh, I'm all alone. It's only me, etc., etc. So today we're going to look at the third one. It's not your fault. And the core belief that comes along with that, and like I mentioned last time, core beliefs are these beliefs that we develop at a very young age, usually for a very good reason, but we carry them with us, usually, like you said, without knowing it, and they influence how we understand ourselves, the world, and ourselves in the world, potentially for the rest of our lives, until we start to gain some awareness.
Yeah.
So the third one we're going to talk about is it's not your fault. That's the message that we want to send, and the core belief that comes with it is that, it's my fault, or I end up taking the blame for things. And so I have an example for that, because I have lived much of my life believing that anything around me that went wrong was probably my fault. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I was in a different office at one point, and the hall door was typically open. It was just always open. And one day, I decided to light a candle in my office. Do you know this story? Do you know what's going? I decided to light a candle in my office. Then I had to go out to the bathroom. I opened my door. For some reason, all of a sudden, the hall door is shut. And there's a big sign on it that says, "Fire door, keep closed." Where does my mind go in a split second? It's my fault because I lit a candle. So how I managed to think of that is just a testament to how quickly our minds create these stories, because there is no way that the building manager knew that, 2 minutes ago I lit a candle, ran upstairs with a sign, and threw it on the door and closed the door. That must have happened beforehand. It was a coincidence, and then my mind used it as evidence to show me that, yes, all of these things that happen are my fault, that I am to blame. If I hadn't lit that candle, well, then we wouldn't have to have the fire door sign up. So that's just one example. I don't know.
One of a trillion. It's literally just an example of how quickly your mind tells you things that really are far from the truth.
Okay, so here's where I'm thinking, do you have an example in mind?
I can't honestly think of one at this moment. Okay, is there one that you think that I've said? And I'm sure I know I should have a bunch, but I mean, my whole life I felt like everything was my fault.
okay, well that's yeah.
I was the wolf raised by elephants. I was adopted. So, well, it must be my fault. My mother, my own mother gave me up as a child. I mean, I talked about it in the last episode too, with you're alone. I felt alone, but I felt like it was my fault too. It was my fault that she gave me up. Why else would she give me up? I'm not good enough, right?
Okay, so actually, yeah, that's a pretty big example, and also it's a great one, because this is when our core beliefs get developed, and so one of the things that happens, I mean, when we think about it, when we're a baby, when you're a newborn, our world is literally this big. The only people in the world are the people who come into our room or hold us, right?
Yeah.
And if we, and I've studied compassionate inquiry with Gabor Mate, and he talks about this a lot, actually, that because our world is so small, we tend to make ourselves the center of that world, right? I don't have kids, but you do. If a baby cries, ideally people are rushing to find out what does it need, you know? Right. So a baby cries, it gets fed. A baby cries, it gets changed. A baby cries, it gets held. It gets attention. It gets attention, right, whatever it needs. Yeah. So can you imagine if I thought that all I had to do was sit here and be like, hello, what about me? You know, and like food came to me, you know, whatever I needed.
Right. It makes sense. It would make sense that you think that
yeah, all I have to do is go, and then everything comes to me. So we really are.
Yeah.
So in a positive light, or maybe a not harmful light, we can have a healthy self-esteem in that way, you know, and also maybe not feel so alone because we feel connected. Right. That all I have to do is make a little noise and I'll get what I need. Right? We don't live in scarcity that way.
Right.
On the other end of it, though, if something happens, maybe like we get adopted, or our birth mother is not with us for whatever reason, that little child who is the center of their own universe is going to make the painful things about them as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I think it's, what is it, when you're a newborn up until the age 2, I think, that you think you are your mother, right? So I was, and I mean, this stuff sounded crazy to me at first. When I first started learning it, it's like, come on. But the more you think about it, it's like, oh my gosh, wow. Because I was this 4-pound baby, and I knew my mother's voice, my biological mother's voice. I was in her belly. I knew her heartbeat.
Yeah.
I knew her, right? Now all of a sudden, she gives birth to me, and off I go to somebody else.
Yeah.
So now I'm this baby being held by someone else who loves me.
Well,
right?
First, because how long did it take to get adopted?
Well, I was in an incubator because I was too small, right? So I was adopted as a newborn.
But in an incubator.
I was in an incubator first. From my mother, exactly, to an incubator. Which actually, I know it's off topic, but just it's amazing how we remember. I was 9 months old, and I had pneumonia, and I was in an incubator. Do you know that I remember this plastic bubble around me?
Yeah. It's
crazy, but yeah. So newborn, and sure, this woman that's holding her new baby. From her perspective, this is so beautiful, right? Yeah. But for me, it's like, who are you? You don't smell like my mother. You don't sound like my mother. Where's my mother? I'm panicking.
Because
and I'm a baby, and how do I communicate that? There's no way to communicate that.
Well, yes, actually, but also I heard you say something. I'm panicking, and so that's a key point because there's an emotion that comes with that.
Oh, fear. 100%.
Absolutely, and fear typically, is not comfortable.
No.
If a child is scared, we rush to comfort them. Or even if a friend called me and was like, oh, I'm home alone and I heard a noise, I would be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? What can I do, right? So fear is uncomfortable for humans. So it's painful. But as a baby, if we are the center of our world, the things that cause us pain, we also make that about ourselves.
So
we
me feeling afraid like I was, me panicking, my brain told me I did something wrong. This is my fault.
Yeah.
Because my mom's not here. I didn't have those words. I didn't have the language, but like...
Yeah. Which is also another
that's a subconscious thing that I carried growing up.
Yeah. Until it comes into the consciousness. Until we
become aware of it.
Yeah.
And that's when things start changing. When you become aware of stuff, right? Yeah. Everything's a process, but...
And because we become aware of it, and once we're aware of something, now we can ask ourselves, well, is that the actual truth, right? Is it the actual truth that it was your fault that your birth mother gave you up?
Right.
Or was it your fault that she didn't take care of you? Right?
Having that discussion and being asked those questions is just reminding me of what we talked about, I think, in the last episode about the sadness and holding that space to allow yourself to feel it. And so it's the same thing, having that conversation, it's coming out and you're having that conversation. You're giving it space to, like, you're okay. It's okay. Like, it's okay even if you don't feel bad. Or the conversation of just that, bringing light to that. Like so you think this is your fault?
Yes.
And it's like, well, yeah. But looking back now, right, as an adult, it's like, oh, how is that possibly my fault? But it was never spoken of because it was all inside. It was all subconscious. It was all buried in me.
And when you did that, so that right there is having compassion for our younger self. Yeah. That's an important moment. Because when we have compassion for our younger selves, then we can stop blaming ourselves for stuff. Right? We can understand that, well, actually, the truth of the matter is I was too young for that to be my fault. I was too young to be at fault for anything.
And when you have compassion for your younger self, then you can have compassion for your older self, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, everything is such a... You know that in those Western movies, what is it?
Those balls.
You know what I mean? It's like it builds up, but like in a positive way. You know,
the tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But in a positive way, you know, it's making more and more awarenesses. Like you
like building momentum, like a snowball.
Yeah.
Just picture lots of rolling things. But anyway, we digress. So. There's a couple things that I want to mention before we close this one. Is that so? This core belief, and we've seen a really good example of how it can develop, because when we're so small and we are the entire world, even the negative things can only make sense if we make them about ourselves, right? But then we might find ourselves later on taking responsibility for all kinds of stuff that we're actually not responsible for. Mm-hmm. So that actually is one of the reasons, I think why we want to bring this awareness, because that can be really stressful and exhausting and not good for relationships. And like you mentioned too, it's all really a matter of perspective. Where are we putting our attention? Right? Do I want to put my attention on the fact that, well, I was given up for adoption, so clearly I wasn't wanted, or which is also a perception too, I know that, right. But, or the fact that, actually, I was chosen, like people chose me, right?
And when do we talk about the fact that I got through that? I survived that.
Woo! Yes. That's a whole other thing, but it's huge, right? And
because that's another perspective.
Which comes with the self-compassion. That when we realize, like, whoa, I was so tiny, nothing could have been my fault, and I was so tiny, I got through all of that. Yeah, amazing. Yay. Thank you for that example.
Everybody's getting through stuff. It's like it's That's just one example.
Okay, so how about this? Send us a comment or an email. let us know, what are you getting through, or what have you gone through? What can you pat yourself on the back for and be like, yeah, I got through that. It was hard and it sucked. But actually looking back, I got through it. And we are definitely going to read those emails and comments.
Or maybe you're feeling like something is your fault right now.
Yeah. And we are happy to hear that
Share
too.
that, right?
Or maybe you're just sad or scared and you need to tell someone. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Till the next time.
Later. Lipstick and Coffee is not filmed in front of a live studio audience.